so excited that you're joining us today. Welcome. This is going to be a really, really fun program. We are so pleased to have Mr. Jim joining us today. He is a children's performer. He's been performing for years for hundreds of kids. He is a professional balloon artist. And if you want to engage with him, you can just type in the comments and we'll be keeping an eye on those for the whole show. So I'm Miss Jenny. I'm coming to you live from the East Grand Rapids Library, and I want you to join me in welcoming Mr. Jim. Let's give him a big round of applause. Hey, Mr. Jim.
How are you?
Oh, so good. I'm excited. I have always secretly wanted to be a balloon animal artist. So I'm very, very excited that you're with us today. I hope I can take a few tips from you.
Oh, and I will be sharing some tips as we go along as well for you and for the boys and girls.
Yes, good. That is awesome. So like I said, we'll be keeping an eye on those comments. Is there anything, Mr. Jim, that you would like our viewers to comment about? Maybe questions or particular requests for animals or ideas? What would you like?
Well, I have a routine set up for today because I'm going to take the children from the basics and move them right on up through a series of animals. And then I have a couple of unique ones that they probably have never seen before. And so let me begin with this, because you just mentioned the fact that you've had an interest in the past as well, as far as maybe making some balloons or animal balloons or other creations. So let me start off with something here that might pique the interest of some of the boys and girls out there who like money. Okay. Money. So years ago, my oldest daughter, Christy, came to me along with her little sister, Sarah, and said, "Dad, can we have some money for the fair? Can we have some money for the rides? Can we have some money to buy those big elephant ears, the good edible ones there?"
Delicious.
And, yes. And then, of course, the fair always has a few crazy little things, that kind of attract the eye to purchase.
Yeah.
So since I knew that my daughters knew how to make animal balloons, I gave them a challenge. I said, "Why don't you work at our local fair for an evening making animal balloons? Sell the balloons for just $1. Now, there's 100 balloons in a bag. So, Miss Jenny, if I had 100 balloons and I sold all those balloons for $1 a piece, you could probably guess about how much money they would have at the end."
Is it $100?
It would be $100. All right. I can see why you work with the children. You got your math down.
It took me a minute. Yeah.
That's okay. It's almost like, is this a trick question? So, yes. Well, with $100, and it was not hard, because if you think about it, if you go to the fair, it's hard to find even water for $1. So as the parents would come by with their children of various ages, and they find out that these animal balloons they were making were only $1, oh, they were selling those left and right like pancakes. So yes, they sold all 100 balloons that night. They had money to keep coming back to the fair that week. So I encourage boys and girls not only to learn how to make balloon creations as just an awesome thing and even a hobby, but some of the boys and girls might decide to, well, maybe do it for birthday parties for their friends. And they could even make an allowance or a little bit of money. And if they invest that money wisely, they can get bigger and better balloons, maybe buy some magic tricks, add a little magic to their program. So that's just something to kind of get the little mental juices going right at the beginning.
The entrepreneurial juice is flowing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. That's brilliant.
They could be doing what I'm doing a few years from now on your show.
That would be awesome. Wow.
That's right. Well, how about if we jump in?
Okay.
And I would like to begin with, well, let's see here. I'll pull this onto the screen here. Now, a few years ago, I was in a restaurant. I walked up to a table, and as I walked up to that table, the gentleman who was sitting there slid the ketchup bottle across the table over to me, apparently thinking that I was coming over to fill up the ketchup bottle. Well, his young daughter was sitting there at the table. She immediately knew what I was about to do, and she said, "Dad, that's not for ketchup, that's for balloons." Well, it's true. This is full of air. In fact, if I pull this and stretch it out and then quickly push, the air will come out. Now, there's no way I can show you, I guess, unless maybe I kind of made the hair move a little bit, but that is what for. Now, let me tell you right at the start. I've had some people who have looked at me with this balloon pump and the balloons, and they'll say, "Mr. Jim, I saw someone blow up the balloon with their mouth. I mean, they blew up this long balloon with this long breath. Why are you using a pump?" Well, there's a few good reasons. First of all, the company that makes the balloon, they also make the pumps. Now, there's all kinds of companies that make balloons, but I have a certain company that I really like, and they also make the pumps to go along with it. And I think I know some of the reasons why. Let's say, for example, and let's see here, I'll pull up a pink balloon here. Let's say, for example, that a person puts the pink balloon inside their mouth. Now, this part is inside the mouth, and this, of course, is outside. Now, as you know, balloons can pop. Now, if a balloon were to pop while you're blowing it up, that means part of the balloon is already inside your mouth. And if it shot backwards, it could lodge up inside the throat area. Well, we would not want that to happen. We wouldn't want anybody to choke. And if I'm using the pump to put the balloon on, that could never happen. There's also another reason. Let's see here. I'm going to reach down here and pull up a whole bag of balloons. You can probably see all the colors there. Now, there's a little secret about a bag of balloons that most people are not even aware of. Inside a bag of balloons is more than just balloons. There's also a special powder. Now, they put the powder on the outside and on the inside of the balloons so the rubber does not stick to itself and it does not stick to other balloons. But the only thing is, that powder can go where it should not go, and that is down inside my lungs. You see, the only way you can blow up a balloon is at first you have to inhale, suck a lot of air in. Then we blow into the balloon, which means when I put that balloon up to my mouth and I suck in that air, I suck in, getting ready to make that balloon, that powder can also go down inside my lungs. Now, I'm a person who really encourages people to take care of their bodies. And if you think about it, you have two balloons. We call those balloons your lungs. That's what you use to breathe with. So we want to take care of those because, well, unlike my bag of balloons that I can just run to the store and buy some more balloons, I can't just run down to the store and get more lungs. So those are a couple reasons why I prefer to do what the company says. Purchase a pump and blow it up. And there's all kinds of, well, here, notice on the pump here, you can see the little tapered side. You could even pick up a bicycle pump at one of the local stores because a lot of them will include a little plastic tapered end. And if you use that, you'll have no problem blowing up the balloon. Now, Miss Jenny, I'm ready to start the first balloon unless you already have any questions about what I've said already or shared.
I feel like you've shared a lot of good info. We don't have any questions or comments just yet, but I think we will once you get started. So
All right.
let's
Well,
see what you're gonna make.
Now, Miss Jenny, I don't want you to disappear yet. I want you to stay on here with me because
yes.
we're gonna learn something together, okay?
Okay.
And then the boys and girls, they will hear what you say right now, and it'll probably make it even easier for them to remember. All right.
Okay.
So here we go. I'll say it first, and then I'm going to have you participate with me, okay?
Okay.
All right. I like this little phrase. If you can make a mouse, you can make a dog. And if you can make a dog, you can make a giraffe. And if you can make a giraffe, you can make almost anything. I mean, like we're talking a whole zoo full.
Wow.
So, Miss Jenny, I'm going to invite you to say it with me now. I'll start off the sentence. If you can make a mouse,
Mouse. Yep.
you can make a
Dog.
dog. And if you can make a dog,
Yes.
you can make a
Giraffe?
giraffe.
Yeah.
And if you can make a giraffe, you can make almost
Anything.
yes.
A
Yeah,
zoo.
perfect. So I'll start the boys and girls today with a balloon, and we're going to start off with the mouse.
Okay.
Now, I'll use some different colored balloons today. So let's see. Oh, this is a dark one. Now, here's the cool thing about dark balloons. It's always a surprise what color they're going to be. I mean, they could be dark green, they could be purple, shiny black. I mean, there's a few different colors they could be. So, Miss Jenny, do you want to take a wild guess as to what color you think this one's going to be today?
I'm hoping for purple. I like purple.
Purple. Okay, folks, let's hope Miss Jenny gets the purple. And it is, oh,
Oh, boo.
will you be satisfied with green?
Honestly, green is pretty cool. That's my second favorite. So,
All right. So here we go. Now, the truth is, when we start making a balloon, well, we need to have the end in mind. We have to know what it is that we're making, because then we know how much air to put in. We know how many bubbles to make. And so since we know that we're starting off with a mouse, I already know that I'm going to need 4 bubbles. I will need the head, 2 ears, and the body. And Miss Jenny, you can probably guess what this part is flopping back here.
I'm thinking that's a tail.
It would be.
Okay.
So we'll have 4 bubbles, and then the tail, well, it'll do its own thing. Now, I'm going to start off with a tip, because Miss Jenny, you mentioned about maybe giving some tips today.
Yeah.
So here's one of the first tips, and it's an important one. I've had some of my children friends who have tried making Emma balloons, and they'll report to me, they'll say, Mr. Jim, it hurt my fingers when I tried to tie the balloon, because when they wrapped it around the fingers, it was like really tight. And after a few balloons, their fingers started to hurt. So here's Mr. Jim's first tip. If I hold the top and I make a little bubble here, a little bubble of air, and I squeeze it there, I mean, you can see that now. We have the whole balloon with just that little first bubble. If I let go of those top fingers like that, now this stretches a long way. Kind of get that on the camera there so you can see that. It stretches a long way. Now I can very comfortably wrap that around my fingers to tie the knot, and it won't hurt. You could make 50 balloons. It won't hurt. So just remember, if you don't have a lot of stretch, just make a little bubble at the top, let go of the top, and now it's going to stretch a long way. So now we're ready to do the 4 bubbles. Now, this hand here, which is my left hand, simply holds the balloon. Now, that may not sound like a really important job, but it is, because both hands must be holding the 2 sides or the 2 ends of the balloon, or the bubbles will come apart. For example, if I twist like this and let go, it goes right back to the way it was. So it's not a really important job when you look at it, but it is in terms of making that balloon stay the way it should. Now, I want you to notice that when I do make the bubbles, I turn it 3 times. Now, once or twice, it could come undone. 3 times is good. And 4 or more times, it seems to be too much. And sometimes it can actually cause the balloon to pop. So I like 3. 3 twist, as we'll say. Now, although this hand is not doing anything more than holding the balloon, which is still important, this hand is going to do the pinching and the twisting. Now, this is what it looks like. with pincher fingers, thumb and first finger. You can probably do that yourself right at home. Thumb and first finger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to squeeze or pinch, and then I'm going to twist it. You guessed it, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. That bubble is not going to come undone unless I let go. It's on there good. Now, I have this much balloon left, and since I have to make 3 bubbles, 1 for the ear, 2 for the ear, and 3 for the body, I don't want to make that bubble too big and leave myself just a little. So I have to space it out. So I'll go way up here. I'll pinch, I'll twist. 1, 2, 3. And there I have the first bubble. Now, if I fold the balloon over, I know right where the second bubble needs to stop so the ears are the same size. Because you can see there's still more bubble below. So I'll pinch, I'll twist. 1, 2, 3. And that will give me the head, the 2 ears, and the body. And, of course, the tail at the end. Now, all I have to do is simply put those ears on top like that. And if I twist those ears, and can you guess how many times? 1, 2, 3. That's it. If I twist them 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and let go of the nose, boing. Now, the nose and the body will keep those ears in place. We have the nose or the head. We have the 2 ears on top. We have the body right here. And we have the tail. And that, my friends, will give you a simple mouse. Miss Jenny, are you still there?
Yeah, that was awesome.
And that's all it takes.
Wow.
And now you have our first important tip about taking that first bubble, letting the air out and having more stretch, and it's easier to tie that balloon.
Yeah, that was a
Oh,
good tip. And you have to kind of know where you're headed. Like you sort of
yep,
need to know, like have a game plan ahead of time. You need to know
exactly.
exactly how many bubbles you need for your animal. Yeah,
Exactly.
I hadn't considered that. So it
Yep.
takes a little bit of planning and thought.
Oh, it does. It
Yeah.
does. But it's not hard. That's the good thing. And often I'll have children say, Mr. Jim, how many years have you been doing this? Well, even though I've been doing this for many years, the truth is, if someone wants to sit down with a good book, okay, a good book on balloons, or sit down with an adult and look on the internet, they can find all different kinds of animal balloons and different ways to create them. So, oh, and by the way, Miss Jenny,
Yeah.
you are probably thinking, wow, that looks like an ordinary green mouse. And you would be true. You would be correct. I mean, it is a pretty ordinary green mouse. I mean, we have these all over Michigan. But this is also a flying mouse.
What?
Oh, yes, yes. Now, you know, on a rainy day when I cannot go out in my driveway and shoot basketballs, okay, at least in the house, I can play mouse-ball. Okay. Now, all I have to do is make a little circle with my hand here. Now, I don't want to make the circle too tight or the poor mouse's tail cannot get away. I don't want to make it too big or the poor mouse is going to slide down and choke itself. I want just the right size little hole where the tail can go down and just comfortably sit right there, nice and loose on top of the fingers. Now, Miss Jenny, you can probably guess. If I pull that tail and let go, what do you think
No.
that mouse is going to do?
I think it's going to go flying.
It is. So if I get bored, right here in my office, I have a paper wastebasket over here. I can quickly create a little mouse and I can practice my shots playing mouse-ball on a rainy day.
That's such a good idea. Just don't
a
pop your
little-
mouse, right?
Yes, yes. So it's kind of cool when you can make something and even use it. Oh, Miss Jenny, this is important because we were talking a few moments ago about that favorite phrase of mine. If you can make a mouse, you can make a
dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, Miss Jenny, watch this. I'm going to go nice and slow for the children. We have the head and the nose, the ears up here on top, and the body. I'm going to turn it completely upside down, and I'm going to hide the tail so you cannot see the tail. But now you probably recognize this as the back end of a dog.
Yeah.
So, our viewers today have just learned something very important. If you know how to make ears on a mouse, and they do now, they already know how to make the legs on a dog. Now, knowing that, I'm going to put the green mouse over here because, well, if my own dog was green, that might mean it's sick. So I'm not going to use a green one. Let's see here. I'm going to go with a blue one, a light blue. Okay. All right. Let's pull out the air, not ketchup bottle. Let's pull out the air pump. We'll put the blue on here like this. Now, this is going to be longer than the mouse since it's a dog. In fact, that balloon is probably going to go right off the screen as I fill it up full of air. So Here we go. Oh, yes. I'll aim it behind me so we can get a good amount of stretch there. Wow, that is really doggone long. So I'm going to take that off. Going to come right back over here. Oh, look at that, boys and girls. There's not very much there for me to twist and tie, so we'll take my previous hint. I'll go ahead and I'll make a little bit of a bubble right here at the end. And now if I let the air out, look how far that stretches now. This will be easy and comfortable on my fingers to a simple little knot. Now the air cannot get out. Let's see if we can get this whole balloon in here. Whoa, that is really long. And you can see we still have a little bit of tail down here. We'll have to have a little bit of tail for the dog, of course. Now we're going to come all the way around. And it's always fun when you're twisting long balloons because you got that whole balloon that's also twisting around. But we're going to make the dog exactly like we made the mouse. We'll have the head with, of course, the nose. We'll have the two ears. And then we're going to go on with the rest of the body. So, just like our mouse, of course, we wouldn't want to make a mouse this big. That would scare everybody in the neighborhood. We'll take and we'll make a little head here on the mouse, just like this. Oh, mouse, dog. Make the little head on the dog. Now we're going to put two ears on it, just like we did with the mouse. So, 1, 2, 3, there we go. We have the head, we have the first ear, and just like the mouse, I want the ears to be the same size. So I'll go right about there, twist that around, 1, 2, 3. You can probably tell it's squeaky. A lot of these balloons will be squeaky as you're trying to twist them around. All right. Oh my, this is beginning to look like a sausage or a bunch of sausages. So here we have the head. We have the two ears for the dog. We're going to put those on top. If I ask you how many times we're going to twist it, you better say 3. I think you know that by now.
3.
Look at it. Thank you, Miss Jenny. I'll tell you, you are a great student. You learn fast. This is good.
I was listening.
So we're going to take and put 1, 2, 3 twists on that. Let go of the nose. Boing. And there we have it. That's the beginning of our dog. Now, whenever you make a balloon, you're going to find that the balloon has a natural curve. That would not be the right way. I mean, that would just not be the kind of curve that we want for the dog. We want to have a curve that's going to come down from the neck into the body. So we're going to use the curve in our favor. Now, we need 2 legs, and the 2 legs are going to be made, you guessed it, just like the 2 ears. But we do need a bubble. Now remember, we had the head and the body, so we had the ears in between the head and the body. Now to make the 2 legs, we'll need 2 bubbles again, one on each side. So this time we'll have to make a neck for the dog. So we'll just make a little bubble right here. That around a few times. And you'll probably notice that when I'm making the balloons, sometimes I'm actually taking my hands and I'm squeezing. What that does is it pushes the air down towards the end of the balloon, and it makes the balloon softer, less likely to pop. So for example, right now, I'll take this, and if you watch, Whoa, can you see how that balloon just inflated some more? That means the whole balloon now is a little bit softer because the air has gone a little bit further down here. So back up here, we have the neck. I'm going to hold the neck, and we're going to make two legs just like the two ears. So we'll put one leg right there. We'll put another one right next to it. Twist that around. And boys and girls, check that out. Just like the ears. The legs are the same way. So if you can make ears on a mouse, you can already make the legs on a dog. All we have to do now is take those two legs, give them 1, 2, 3 twists, and just like that, we have the front of our dog. The ears, the head, the nose, the front legs. All that's left now is just to go over here to the back end of the dog, finish your legs, and for the dog to have a tail, it must have air in it. Otherwise, the legs would come undone. You'll see in just a moment. So, coming down to the end, planning how we're going to finish this, we need a bubble for the tail, and we need 2 bubbles for the legs. So, I'm going to just estimate here, right about here. I'm going to twist that, and yeah, that's going to be about right. So with the air down here, I'm going to pinch, twist, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to fold this over just like we did with the ears, just like we did with the front legs. And now I'm going to make the final bubble to make the same size second leg. And there we have it. The body, 2 legs, and the tail with some air in it. All I have to do now is take and twist it. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, my friends, we have the head, the nose, the neck, the front legs, the body, the back legs, and a little tail. What do you think, Miss Jenny? Does that meet with your approval?
I think that's amazing. You make it look so easy. I wish I could do this. I mean, I bet I could. If I had a balloon and I was like trying to do it along with you, I bet I could.
Well, Miss Jenny, in a book that I published on magic, it's called Magical Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I began by explaining that a magician has a rule. You know, just like learning how to do magic, and it's the same thing for juggling. It's the same thing for the balloon sculpting, and that is this. And I think you're going to be able to finish this for me. Practice, practice.
Banana. No, practice.
You saw that long dog and you thought of a banana split. Yeah, I know. Actually, you know what? Some of your children might even remember this. I like using the blue for the dog because there was a dog on TV, and his name, and Miss Jenny, you might remember this, but his name was Blues
Clues. Blues Clues.
That's it. That's it.
I think
So
Blues
I
Clues
always
might
like to
still
make
be
the
on
dog
TV.
blue. Yeah.
That's
Still
an
on TV?
excellent choice. I don't know,
All right.
honestly. I know it's been on a long time. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, hey, tell you what, let's go back to the line that we learned and let's see where we're at. If you can make a mouse, you can make a
Dog.
yes. And if you can make a dog, you can make a
Giraffe.
yes. Now, Miss Jenny, this is going to be the easiest thing you've seen today, okay? This could be the easiest thing. To make a giraffe, I could simply do this. Take the head of the dog and turn it around. Take the behind of the dog and turn it upside down. And Miss Jenny, just like that, we have ourselves a giraffe.
That's amazing.
That's it. You see, a giraffe has a long neck and a little body, and a dog has a long body and a little neck.
Wow.
Otherwise, they're the same animal. Okay?
I never would have pictured that, but you're right. That's so simple.
Yes. So if you can make a mouse, you can make a dog. If you make a dog, you can make a giraffe. Oh, but wait. Blue's Clues, that dog is blue. But Miss Jenny, I'm trying to think, if the boys and girls were to make a giraffe, what would be some better colors for a giraffe?
I think yellow, right?
Yellow would be a good one.
Yeah.
Orange. Some of the
Mm,
kids will make orange ones.
yeah.
Or even like a light brown.
Yeah.
So, any of those colors probably other than blue, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't want a giraffe that's feeling blue.
I think
So,
you're right.
yes. So let's see. I have a color here. Oh, and I see a question up on the screen. Do you see that, Miss Jenny?
Yeah, it looks like there's some kids watching at a library right now, and it says, "Where do you get your balloons?"
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, the answer really is pretty broad. You're going to find that a lot of stores have balloons. So I say check out some of the bigger name brand stores that we all hear of. There's a very good chance that they're going to carry some long balloons because that's the kind you want are the long balloons for making animals. Also, many of your party stores will also have long balloons. And finally, so much today can be found on the internet or bought on the internet. So if they go with an adult onto, let's say, a browser like Google, okay, they can look up animal balloons, purchasing animal balloons. They can find where they can buy right from the company that makes it, or they can find stores or outlets that have various bags and colors of balloons that they can purchase. And most all of those places are also going to have some sort of air pumps that they could also get to go with that.
That's awesome. I think maybe in this group there's another question. How long do your balloon animals last? If someone says, do they last forever? I would guess they don't.
Forever is a long, long time. So I always tell the children if they take a balloon home from one of my programs, they can put that on their dresser and it will probably be there for at least a week.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. At least a week. That's a good
Yeah.
answer. I think
Yeah.
someone else says, can you make a koala? Have you ever made a balloon koala?
Oh, I would do better drawing a koala. No, but actually, it's a very good question. And here's something about balloons. You can make a balloon and you can decide what that animal balloon is. So, for example, you could make a teddy bear balloon and a koala is a bear, is a small bear.
Yeah.
I actually got to, touch one. I couldn't hold it. I got to touch one when I was doing programs over in Sydney, Australia. And so it was a very cool thing to visit the zoo there. And I hope the boys and girls there in Grand Rapids area are taking advantage of the zoo too. But let me pull the dog back out for just a moment. Let me twist this back around to where we had the giraffe. And I was trying to remember where we were going with this.
Well, I remember you were going to make, was it a yellow giraffe or an orange giraffe? Because
yes,
you were
we
thinking we didn't want our giraffe to be blue and
No.
bummed out. Yeah.
But I want to point out one thing. Just like we have a blue giraffe here, if we were to fill that last part of the balloon completely up and make these ears just a little smaller, now a boy or girl could say that they have made a long neck dinosaur. Okay.
Whoa. Yeah.
So sometimes it can be just one animal with just slightly different size bubbles. And you can say, oh, I just made you a long neck dinosaur. Or a person could make just a teddy bear balloon and say, oh, I just made a koala. So you can use your imagination. And when people look at something, they'll say, oh, yeah, I see that. So that's one of the cool things about balloons. But you are right. I have the orange one here, and I'm going to make this orange one real quickly because you already know how to make the dog, and they're the same. I'm going to make this quickly because I want to show you one more thing that's really cool about balloons. Okay, let's get a lot of air. This is going way off the screen here, Miss Jenny. All right, and you can hear the air coming out. A lot of times I'll fill up a balloon really full, but I'll let the air out. You'll hear some of it. Okay, and I'll let some of the air out because this will give me a little bit of tail at the end. As you make the bubbles, that little bit of tail gets used up. So by the time you reach the end, there is no more tail or, on-field part. Now, I'm going to quickly put that giraffe together here. And then I ask the kids, when it comes to giraffe, do we have a little face or a long face? And of course, they'll say, oh, it has a long face. So we're going to make this bubble especially big. Okay. And there we have it. Now we have a really long face. Then I'll ask them, how about the ears on a giraffe? Really big like an elephant or small? They'll say, well, those are smaller. So this time, after making a really big bubble for the head of the giraffe, we'll make two very small bubbles. We haven't made any small bubbles yet, so let's try that. I'll make a small little bubble right here, and you can see that small. I'll make an equally sized one right next to it, twist that around, and there we have it. We've got the head, we've got the two ears, and guess what? Just like all the other ones we've created, we just fold it over, and although they're small, you can still twist them. Oh, and by the way, a balloon can pop, and if it does, so what? We just reach in the bag, we pull out another one. A little safety tip here. You might recall when we first started, I talked about using the pump instead of having the balloon in your mouth, because if it pops, part of that rubber could actually go backwards inside and choke you. The same thing is true. If my balloons ever pop, I immediately pick up the pieces off the floor. I do not want little brother or little sister or even the dog to put that inside their mouth, okay? And speaking of popping, I can see a question on the screen. How many balloons have you popped? Oh my, too many. Actually, there's two things that you can do to lessen the chance of a balloon popping. One, when you first fill it up, let a little bit of air out. It just softens the whole balloon. And you saw me do that just a few moments ago. And then the second thing is what I also showed you a little bit ago, where your hands can be squeezing the balloon as you're making the animal. And as the air keeps on getting pushed down towards the end, it keeps the balloon soft. So those are two big tips for keeping the balloon soft, less likely to pop on you. Now I'll just take those two ears. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it again. Let go of the nose. Boing. And there we have it. We have the head of the giraffe. We have the two ears. Now, as we know, the neck of the giraffe is going to be really long. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to twist that right there. And if I were to ask you, do giraffes have little legs, short legs or long legs? We know they have long legs. Go down to the zoo and watch a giraffe drink. It'll take those two long front legs and spread them out so it can bring that long neck down in the center where the mouth can get to the water. So we'll put a couple long legs here. There's one bubble. And I'm going to come back up here in the neck and grab this. So there's one bubble. There's the other bubble. Those are long legs, as you can see. We'll twist those around 3 times. And so there we have it now. We have the head. We have the ears. We have a little, I'm just going to make the body small. It doesn't have to really stand out because we don't really think of the body so much. Now I'm going to twist around one back leg, come back over here, twist around another back leg. You'll see how there's just a little bit of tail left on this. So we came really close to using up the entire balloon. And now if I twist that around 1, 2, 3 times, and there you go. Hey, Miss Jenny, how do you like that? We've got ourselves a full orange giraffe.
That's so cool. I think that one's my favorite. I like the little nose on the giraffe.
If it's your favorite, wait until you see this. The cool thing with a light colored balloon is that you can add a little bit to it so it comes to life some more. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take this permanent marker. I'm going to pull the tip off. I'll come back up here and let's see here. I'll put one eye there and one eye there. You can probably see those two little eyes there. Try to get that on the camera. And, since we're at the library today or engaged in a library program, all right, we'll put a smile on the giraffe. So I'll come down here. Oh, that will work good. Miss Jenny, we have a nice big smile on our giraffe. But to really make the giraffe look like a giraffe, we're going to add some big spots, just like you would see on a giraffe. Okay, there's one right there. Put another one right here and put another one. Look at that, Miss Jenny. Now we have our large spots. We have a smile. We have the ears right there. I'll tell you what, this little guy's adorable. All right.
It is. It really does kind of add some life to that giraffe. That looks great.
Oh, it most certainly does. But Miss Jenny, we have to finish what we started. So Here we go. If you can make a mouse, you can make a
dog.
And if you can make a dog, you can make a
giraffe.
And if you can make a giraffe, you can make almost
anything.
Yes. Oh, but wait. What doesn't anything look like? Let's find out. Let's see. What's a good color here? Oh, yes. I don't think we've tried white yet, so we'll try white. That will stand out against the color of my shirt in the backdrop real nicely. Okay. And I think for this one, we'll use a lot of air. So one moment. Go. It goes further and further, completely off the computer screen. All right. Here we go. Let's bring it back. Oh, this is a very long balloon. And I am purposely going to let some of the air out. That's going to make it so it's a little bit softer. I'll come back over here. Not much to hold on to there. So I'm going to use my own tip. I'll make the bubble. I'll take the air out. Oh, look at it. It stretches really nice now. I'll take this, wrap it around, and just like that, we're ready to go. So here we are. One anything. Let's see if one of the boys and girls out there can guess what this is going to be. I'm going to make a little bubble, just a little bubble, not big like the giraffe's head, just a little bubble this time. So I'll put that right there. I'll give that a few twists. I'll make the next two a little larger. There's one. Come back. There's two. It is really squeaky. I apologize for that. All right, so now I'm holding on to that first little bubble and the whole body. I'm going to take these. 1, 2, 3. Let go. Boom. All right. Anybody have any clues out there as to what this is going to be, Miss Jenny?
It looks a lot like our mouse did, I've got to say. You're right about that. If you can make a mouse, you can make a dog, you can make a giraffe. There's a lot of similarity I hadn't noticed before this program.
There is. Now, if this were a mouse, this thing would probably be in a scary movie. That's a really big mouse, okay? And I saw that someone just put down hot dog on the screen.
Yeah.
Of course, that hot dog or that wiener dog is going to be, well, we did make a dog already, so it won't be another dog.
True. We had another guest. We've actually got a group of friends here in the library that is watching this program live, and they're posting, and they just said mouse too. But we already made a mouse, right? So it's probably not a mouse.
We made a mouse. We made a mouse. And a 3-foot mouse, that would be scary. Okay. I'll give you another clue. Here we go. I'll make a bubble right here. There we go. I'll put one here. I'll put one there. I'll twist that back around. Okay, I'll give you another clue. Here we go. All right. But this time, I'm going to use a really big bubble. In fact, I'm going to use a bubble so big that we have to make a big loop with it, okay? So here we go. Big loop now. Oh, maybe this way? Oh, maybe this way.
We have another guess of a cat? I don't know. I'm thinking dragon at this point, but someone says cat.
Tell you what, I'll move on to the very last clue. Let's see what it's going to be. I'll take this right here. We're going to make one more huge loop bubble. I'll twist that around like that. Bring this back over here. Twist that. Twist this. Move this around. Bring that there. Put this here. Give that a little twist there. Oh, Miss Jenny, how about a little baby Dumbo elephant?
I see it now.
Yeah, does he have like the longest trunk that you've ever
The
seen?
longest ever, but he's super cute.
So there we go, our little baby Dumbo elephant. I
That's
don't know.
awesome.
On my screen, it is a real bright white, so I'm going to guess it probably is for you too. So
Yeah.
there we go. If you can make a mouse, you can make a dog. If you can make a dog, you make a giraffe. If you can make a giraffe, you can make almost anything. And as you can see, we've already started a whole zoo full of animals. Oh, but wait a moment. Let me put this down for a moment. I'd like to introduce you to one of my favorite balloon creations, and I like to call this little critter Bubbles. Bubbles. All right. Now, we won't use as much air this time. This will almost look like a mouse, as far as size. And let's see here. Okay. I think that's going to be just about right. Take this and tie that off. Okay, here we go. We're going to make a little bubble here. And I always like to ask the boys and girls if they can think of an animal that has one ear.
One
I'll let
ear.
you think about that as I continue, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to make one ear for this little animal. And there it is, one ear. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one ear on the top. Now, normally we have two ears and we twist them. Well, we only have one ear, but I'm still going to twist it. Watch. 1, 2, 3. And I can show that close. Actually, what that does is it creates not an ear, but a little hairdo on top of our little creature. So we have the head, we have the nose, we have a little hairdo. Now I'm going to put the neck on there, and then watch. There's the neck bubble. Now this time, the legs are going to have feet. So 2 legs with 2 feet, 4 bubbles all together in the front. Oh, here I go. Here's one leg. I'll put a little foot right next to it. I'll put another little foot next to it. I'll put another leg next to that. Look at that. Now we have 2 legs, 2 little feet in between. If I twist this around like this, and Miss Jenny, I think somebody already has a clue.
Did someone guess it? We just had a guess come in.
They saw the pink, they see the bubbles, and they are on to me.
They guessed right. That's awesome.
Now I'm going to make just a little body in the center. I'll make one more leg in the back. I'll put a little foot next to it. Now I know it's a little hard to see, but we've got the leg, we've got the foot. I'll put another little foot next to that one. I'll come back around. I'll put one more leg on it, and there you can see 2 legs, 2 feet. I will just twist those little legs around, and just like that, we do have ourselves. Oh, wait. I almost got ahead of myself. You can see that we have one final bubble for the tail. Let's try something. I'll take that little bubble for the tail. I will squeeze it in half, and I will push one half of the bubble all the way up to Miss Jenny. Oh no. Let's get that back over here. That little bubble wanted to come back down. Let's see if we can get that bubble to stay here. And there we go. There we go. And that gives us a little poodle with an antenna on his bottom.
That's hilarious. And the air just stays at the end of the balloon like that, like automatically. Yep. That's so cool. Oh, wow.
And you can see now why I love to call this little creature Bubbles.
That's awesome.
There we go. Oh, we have time for 1 or 2 more?
I think maybe just one more.
Just one? Oh, well, Miss Jenny, I think for all the boys and girls who have taken the time today to visit the library and watch this program, I think we should really raise up the, let's go with the finger eating balloon.
What?
Yes.
That sounds terrifying.
It
I like my
is
fingers.
terrifying. It is the most dangerous thing that I do, but I
Okay.
think I owe this to your kids because they have been such good visitors on our program here today. So let's see here. I will find a balloon and oh, yes. I'm going to use red, Miss Jenny, because, well, obviously, if anything goes wrong, red, you won't notice so much, okay?
Are you talking about blood?
I don't want to scare them. All right. So here we go. Slide on the balloon. Now, Miss Jenny, I mean, there's finger eating balloons, there's arm eating balloons. I mean, just devouring the whole arm. And then, well, I don't know if there's a whole human eating balloon. I wouldn't want to know, but we're going to go with just the finger. That's just enough danger right there. So I'm going to put a little bit of air inside the balloon. Oh, right about there. That's it. That much. That will be just enough danger to deal with for right now. Okay. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to tie this so that the air does not get out. And as you can tell, this is just the right length to devour my finger. So here's what's going to happen. Now you've seen things like Venus fly traps, for example, where a bug or a fly goes inside the trap, and when that plant closes, it's not going to go anywhere. Same thing here. You see, I have to get this little piece all the way down inside the balloon and then catch it over here on this side with this hand and then twist it so it stays in there. But then the question is, can I get my finger back out? I mean, when I pull my hand away, will my finger still be there? Let's find out. All right, here we go. Taking my finger, pressing it deep inside. Oh, you can see how it is swallowing my finger deep inside. It's all the way up to the knuckle, Miss Jenny. All the way up to the knuckle. You can see that. All the way up. Finger eating balloon. Now I have to grab it on the other side with this hand, and I have to get my finger out. Oh, I don't like this part. Wow. All right. So we got that. Oh, but we're only halfway there. I twist this around. Now I have to push the finger in the other side to get the stem to stay. Now here it goes all the way down. You can see it swallowing. It is totally swallowing right to the knuckle. I had to pull the finger out and hopefully everything else stays inside. Okay, here we go. And, oh, finger still there. That's good. Now, Miss Jenny, you can come up on the screen here.
Okay.
In many places around the world, this is considered a finger-eating balloon. But when I visit a wonderful library like yours and spend the hour with the children and yourself, it's not a finger-eating balloon. This is a little rose to tell you thank you for inviting me to be part of your program today.
I love that. That is so cool. I was wondering where this was going. And it's so interesting that the air stays right where it's meant to at the end of that balloon. That's really cool. It does kind of look like a pretty red rose.
Oh, yes.
Nothing too terrifying.
Or you could say tulip because we both like Holland. We talked about that.
It's true. We talked about Holland. That's true. A beautiful red tulip. I like that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. When you do these programs live, do you often have kids coming up and asking you to create special balloon animals for them?
Oh, not just the kids, the parents too.
I can imagine. Oh, that's great.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I hope someday we can have you live and we can have balloons for the whole audience to actually practice step by step with you. That would be really, really cool.
Sure. And for any of the children's parents who are with us today, If they are interested in any of my programs, Magic with a Message, sports stacking, juggling, the balloon sculpting, they can find all of my information on my website, which is simply Mr. Jim, MR-JIM.com.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for letting us know. And you said kids can find books, not just about balloon animal sculpting, but also about like magic and all sorts of other fun stuff. If this is a hobby or an interest of theirs, I hope that kids know that this is at the local library. And it sounds like you've even written a book. Is that right?
Yes, and I know that my book is in many of your libraries. Now, you can check your particular site, and if you don't have it, just reach out to me. I will send you a free copy for your children, but it's Mr. Jim Magical Secrets.
That is so awesome. Well, we can't thank you enough for joining us today and for all the fun and answering all of our questions and comments. So thank you again so much for showing us that balloon animal art is really not that hard. If you can make a mouse, you can make a dog. If you can make a dog, you can make a giraffe. If you can make a giraffe, you can make a finger-eating rose or anything
Exactly.
else.
Exactly. That's what every mother wants to hear.
Yeah.
Her kid is working on a finger-eating rose.
Well, thank you so much for all the laughs and all the fun today, Mr. Jim. We have so enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.